Hi, good morning. So I'm just going to make a short video. Behind me here are two completely different paintings. And I'll do an experiment here. I haven't done this type of filming before where I set up a tripod and speak. So hopefully the sound will be okay. I'll speak up a little louder, maybe it's better. On this side here you have like a 40-minute demonstration I did last night in the Tuesday night classes. And for people interested, Tuesday nights are booked in terms, so it's 4 times a year, and you get like 8 classes, and there's around 10 or 11 dates that you can choose from on those. You don't need a book, you just book the term, turn up or don't turn up, that's up to you. They're booked out at the moment, but the next one is March to May, so check on the website, you'll see it. I think it's €250 or something for 8 classes. Anyway, on the left is the quick study I did, 40-minute study. On the right is a student I'm training in Rembrandt. They're two completely different philosophies, two completely different approaches, two totally different outcomes. There's a few little overlaps in some of the more expressive work in the Rembrandt, in the background and in the way the jacket is treated, the fur. But that's kind of where it stops. This is, Marlene Dumas, Jenny Saville, all the contemporary painters from around the 40s on who painted in a kind of impatient, expressive way, and the paint was kind of taking over the representation form. So you're not utterly obsessed with it being correct, is what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure I'm that type of painter, even though I've enjoyed rendering things the way they should be, or with the reality that the general public understands. But anybody who paints knows you can get bored of that very quickly, and it isn't necessarily where a lot of the answers lie. The answers in contemporary painting lie in the otherness of the painting, in the otherness of the brushmark, not within the rendering of reality itself. Certain painters like Rembrandt, Velázquez have that otherness. I think that's why they've survived, and they're so important to the history of painting. You look at Rembrandt's life self-portraits, they're just utterly incredible in terms of the paint having a corporeal experience of the painter making it. It really is like it's flesh being hewn onto the canvas out of this material, which is just oil paint, right? With linseed oil and brushes on linen. Anyway, I'm going to grab the camera here, right, and we'll go close here. Okay, so as I said, this was around a 40 to 50 minute study, so it's very fast. I love painting really fast. This is a model, thank you very much, a model I found on the internet. I don't know your name, but thank you very much, it's a great image. And then here we're rendering it out. It's a limited palette, it's the old master palette, a 6-color system, so come and study with me if you want to learn that. It's quite a cold palette, it's not that hot. It can be hot if you raise up the siennas and the reds together to form a union of yellows and oranges. But in this case, I've allowed a lot of black get into the color. It's not finished yet, but there's certain passages, we'll zoom, that I really like. The passage on the shoulder, the meeting of the back with the background there, the neck, the chin line. I really like this area. Not mad about the bottom of the nose. The eye's too big here, right? Let's pull out. But there's certain qualities that are interesting. Like for a 40-minute painting, it's not that bad. And the point I was making to the class was, get the paint down. Stop being afraid. Get your paint down on your palette. Here you can see the palette here, right? The darks, the purples and pinks. Not that much heat used. Pinks and whites and yellows, going back to greys again. Now let's look at the Rembrandt. Okay, so this student has never painted in oils. They booked into the Tuesday term in winter, So January to March, and they've done around 4 sessions on this so far. They have around 4 years experience in acrylics. So that experience, we utilize that within certain areas, like the way they're rendering the head, because they're used to brush strokes going down and then them drying within 5 minutes in acrylic. In oil, they stay wet for 2 days, right? So they're getting used to that. What they didn't know about was the scumbling of the background. You can see that in another video on my Instagram. We also did sfumato here. You can see it here. I would still render this out a little bit more here. It shouldn't just be isolated there. It should come over here as well, as in the Rembrandt you can see here. And there's a bit of yellow ochre in it as well. They're learning how to glaze in hard lines, which you can see here, sharp lines, in focus lines. And the really exciting thing last night was the rendering of the jacket, which is here. Now, I would have recommended that was just burnt sienna black and a little bit of burnt umber. They brought in a bit of whites, and that is not present in the painting. So I would have been careful about bringing those in. You keep it in general translucent, the fur coat. That allows the matte of this area, the chalkiness of it, and the opaqueness of it to really sing. But if you bring opaqueness into the fur, it steals from that. So you got to be careful of that there. I'm just going to lower the light here just so you can, that's closer to the quality of what we're looking at here. Yeah, so, and just again, here's the studio. So people who haven't been here, just so you can see this, I'm going to be teaching this morning. We have a full class this morning. Here's another client, by the way, who was working on clouds. Really beautiful setup. You know, they just had their phone here on our little tripods for phones and iPads, and then they were painting. This client is with me around 5 months now. They come once a week on Tuesday evenings, and they're really progressing beautifully. They're now training with Constable, Isaac, Levitan, which you can see here. Here's our library, look. Constable, Isaac Levitan, Sergeant, Zorn, Whistler, you know. These are all my friends. I just love it. That's 1500s. Degas, so important. Degas is amazing. Here you have photography in this section. The piece I did there, I really like that piece. And here's contemporary painting here, okay? You can see there. All right, we go from Bauhaus, Marcel Duchamp, right through to contemporary painters. I really like these books here by Phaidon. Vitamin 2, Painting Today. They're really great. Another client here learning 16th, 17th century still life. Yeah. So I'll put this up on YouTube, and I'll make a shorter video for Instagram.